Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Trump's 54% tariff that is going to be imposed on China and how it will possibly affect the future of Apple iPhone sales and what Apple could possibly do to avoid the tariff in the long run. So let's talk about the iPhone 16 Pro. So that phone's the cost of that to the consumer, and let's just say in particular the 256 gigabyte version of that phone, that's about $1,100 to the consumer. The cost of all the hardware inside of the phone is about $550, right? That's what Apple spends for all of the hardware inside of the phone. And that was back when it was introduced. Okay, throw in manufacturing cost, and that's about a total of $580. All right, total. Even when you account for Apple's advertising budget and all the included services, that is a very good profit margin. $580 to basically produce and market this phone, right? And the consumer is paying $1,100 for it. Now, that's kind of think about a new factor with the newly announced tariff for goods from China, okay, which is, like I said before, it's 54%. The cost for them to produce this phone is going to probably rise to about $850 per phone. So Apple makes tons of iPhones each year, and almost all of those iPhones are made in China. So these Chinese factories are very good at making electronics. This close relationship has worked very, very well for Apple. This could mean iPhones would become more expensive for the consumer unless they do something about these tariffs. And nobody likes higher prices. And Apple knows this. So they're going to have to come up with a workaround, guaranteed. So they won't have to charge the consumer more for these iPhones. I've read that they're looking for ways to reduce their reliance on Chinese factories. So Apple's going to want to make iPhones in other countries. And this is called diversifying their supply chain. It's a smart move. It's a big and complicated task, to say the least. One country that Apple's looking to shift the iPhone productions to is India. India has a lot of people, of course, and many are skilled workers. In fact, Apple already makes some iPhones in India. They're working with partners to open more factories there. The goal is to make a lot more iPhones in India. This would definitely reduce the dependence on Chinese factories. However, the challenge is, of course, setting up more factories in India. That's not cheap. And also, that's not easy. Moving production out of China won't be easy. It takes a lot of time and a whole lot of money. Apple needs to build new factories, train the Indian workers on how to build iPhones. They also need to find suppliers in these new locations. I mean, it's a big, giant puzzle. all the pieces need to fit together nicely. It's not just about finding cheap labor. It's about having the right infrastructure, skills, and logistics in place. So Apple's second option is Vietnam. So Apple already manufactures in Vietnam. It produces iPods in Vietnam. So kind of like the same thing. They would have to shift their iPhone manufacturing from China and move all that over to Vietnam. Kind of how I explained before for shifting their manufacturing to India. Same thing. So it could be a situation to where they could, I guess, shift half of their Chinese operation to India and the other half to Vietnam. But anyways, that's the solutions that they have, is shifting manufacturing out of China. I mean, it's a balancing act. They would need to be able to manage cost while also ensuring that they have a reliable and resilient supply chain in place. So let's just be honest. China has a well-established electronics manufacturing ecosystem that right now is very important to Apple. It won't be easy to replicate that in other places overnight. Apple will likely continue to make portions of their iPhones in China in the short term, but they will have to continue to explore these other options that I mentioned. And it's not about totally abandoning China. It's about having a more balanced approach to manufacturing in lieu to these newly announced tariffs. So, in summary, Apple will probably make their iPhone in several different countries: China, Vietnam, and India, because this makes them less vulnerable to disruptions in any one location. But overall, it's a complex issue with no easy answers. But one thing is, Apple is going to have to adapt to these upcoming tariffs, and I'm sure that they're trying to ensure that they can continue to make products that all their customers love. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to report that. I just try to get on here and keep you guys in the loop when I can. Anyways, catch you later.